It's weird. What is going on with this watermelon?
Recording like right to TikTok because like shit is getting real now.
UK approves experiments to dim the sun. What the f?
Most terrifying videos and photos of an untethered spacewalk.
He got stuck.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Bryce is Right. I hope y'all have all had a great freaking week. Hopefully y'all are ready to get into this weekend that Bryce is Right away, where we dive down deep into some of the creepiest and freakiest videos I could find in the deepest, darkest corners of TikTok. And nah, these aren't your ordinary videos. They're going to be blowing your mind, making your head spin, and having you question your reality. And of course, before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss out on any future content. And leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let us know what's up. Other than that, let's go ahead and dive right in, y'all. Let's get it.
Just cut open this watermelon and I was like,
It's like freaking
this
jello.
kind of looks weird. What is going on with this watermelon?
Or like
It's
the cranberry
gel. It's like disgusting. I just took a bite and it's gross. What is that?
Yeah! Bingo! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh.
Yeah, it's like the cranberry of freaking Thanksgiving. Ew.
You've got to see this stunning glitch in the simulation that was caught on camera during a AA baseball game this week. An identical play script got rolled out in the top and bottom of the same inning. Look at this. Pay close attention to the situation here. This top video. Top of the fourth. Count 0-1, 1 out. Bottom video. Bottom of the fourth. Count 0-1, 1 out. Roll the tape. Watch the batters hit the ball to the third baseman. Now pause. Now first off, yeah, both third basemen just kicked it at the exact same time. Ball goes up in the air. But also scoreboard. Both pitches went exactly 83 miles per hour. I mean, come on. You think this is a coincidence so far? Back to the play. Watch where the ball ends up right in the shortstop's hands. Get the guy at first. Identical plays by the shortstop. And if you're keeping score, this is going down as a 5-6-3 out. Another look at the full play here. It's crazy how in unison these two plays are. Third baseman to the shortstop. They get the guy at first. Same situation, same inning, same pitch speed. Come on, that's way too much of a freak play for you to just tell me that's a coincidence. It all happened in the stadium of the Hartford Yard Goats, AA team of the Rockies, Hartford, Connecticut. What's going on there? Something crazy is happening.
That is pretty trippy. What was that? It's like a glitch, huh? A real life one.
Who's a good boy?
Shit.
Yes, you are. You're my little sea puppy.
You ever hear the expression, you got a face only a mother can love? That don't apply to you. You are uglier than the devil's asshole itself. Stay.
That's the weirdest costume ever. Man, why would you just sit there and take it? Like, it's okay, it's just some wind. Like, no. Like, I'm gonna go inside and let this cyclone like get away.
There's vampires in New Orleans. So yes, there are vampires in the French Quarter, Bourbon Street. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. So if you haven't watched all the other videos on TikTok, please do. Please go watch them. There's a reason why in the Quarter they don't play any bomb.
I ate a lot of garlic, and I just farted. Silent but deadly.
I guess that's why the windows are closed with the shutters. I don't know.
Spiral. That was over the UK.
Yeah, there's got to be more to it, right?
Really? I saw this person talk about that this is not the first occurrence of seeing a spiral like this. And they documented photos in the sky going back to 1981. But then they compared it to old ancient carvings and drawings that look exactly like it.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Every part of the world, everyone has a drawing of a spiral. Ireland, 3200 BC, famous triple spiral, they called it a triskele, carved into entrance stones, possibly linked to the sun, life cycles, and astral journey. And then Scotland, Malta, and Spain, spirals, megalithic tombs, often pointing inward. Some believe these are symbolic of the journey to the afterlife or altered states of consciousness. So people all over the world since early BC era were drawing these symbols that they were seeing in the sky.
That didn't have an explanation for it, and we still don't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what are the reason they give? They gave just that. There's no confirmation what exactly it was, right?
No. But then the Hopi tribe, Native American, they have a lot of these spirals, and it represents the connection between this world and the spirit world.
Wow.
That's what their spiral represented.
If there's no logical explanation, I guess I just got to do more research into it. But
if we asked Ada, she would just say it was the heart of Tafiti.
She does look like it, though, huh? Disney.
Yeah, I mean, coincidence? I think not.
Everyone's standing around here because the volcano just erupted. See the clouds back there?
Do we go party? Do we go back to church?
Okay, breaking news. Turkey has just been hit with multiple earthquakes in the past hour, with the strongest recorded estimated to be around 6.2 in magnitude. Videos posted online show people running out of buildings onto the streets while car alarms go off. There's videos of waves rippling in the Sea of Marmara during the earthquakes, well, one of them that hit near Istanbul. And there's even a video of the moment when one of these earthquakes hits during a live broadcast on CNN Turkey.
Devam ettiğine biz şahit olduk.
Deprem oluyor. Çok şiddetli bir deprem oluyor şu anda. Çok şiddetli bir deprem oluyor.
Unfortunately, as of right now, at least, it doesn't appear that there's any reports of injuries or casualties, but you can only imagine the panic that they would be feeling right now, because it's only been 2 years since the country was hit with an earthquake that ended up killing 56,000 people, making it the deadliest earthquake globally since Haiti in 2010. So, as the situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
I didn't know that.
It's not supposed to look like this. We're at the beach in the Gold Coast. It's not supposed to look like this. Behind me, people are normally sunbathing, kicking balls, having a good time. Instead, we got the whole Pacific Ocean coming up and slapping up against this wall here. It's pretty scary. The size and the velocity of these waves hitting right now, it's pretty creepy. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours with Cyclone Alfred coming through, but I do hope it's going to get better, because at the moment, it's not supposed to look like this.
Man, come on.
You saw the patch.
No,
so this is where it gets demonic. Oh, each one of their spacesuits had a certain patch, the blue origin symbol on it, right? Well, but looking at it, it actually shows, you know, Baphomet head, the demon? No, the devil head. It's on the patch. You flip it upside down. Oh yeah, straight up Baphomet head with the horns. Well, hands out goat head. Beside it, what does it look like? Flames. Oh my god. What does it look like? A star. So people are saying this is some demonic, right? Yo, right when Katy Perry came out, yeah, she was holding a daisy like this, yeah. And throughout the whole trip, playing like a daisy like this, like looking at it. What does that represent? In occult and spiritual context, daisies are often associated with innocence of children. No, yeah, obviously with the Illuminati and the elite. What are they always known for? Taking advantage of innocence and children. Yo, the Baphomet, the god that eats, they sacrificed, right? What is she holding? The symbol of that.
Man, come on.
It's Godzilla!
Turns out, breakups actually change your brain chemistry, and it takes people on average 8 years to recover from it. And men probably do have it worse, but we'll talk about it. I have been told all my life that it takes about 2 years between a really good event happening or a really bad event, and then your brain returns to baseline. Turns out, that was a lie. Immediately when you break up with someone, yes, you are missing those neurotransmitters. People provide you with dopamine, it's a happy brain chemical, and also does relieve pain to a degree. You also get oxytocin. That's the cuddle hormone. It's kind of the reason that animals don't often eat their offspring. The fortunate part is that this does in fact take 2 years to go back to baseline, but there's other stuff that can keep that from happening. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between losing a loved one and breaking up with somebody. So people end up going through the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, and ideally, eventually, acceptance.
Keep on smiling! Oh, shit! I said over easy!
But here's why it actually takes longer to get there. The first one is the brain chemistry issue. The next ones, fortunately, can be mitigated. You need to stop reinforcing those neural pathways. So scrolling their social media, looking at pictures, replaying old events, that's not helping you. It's keeping you from resetting your brain. And unfortunately, one of the factors that really does help people move on is going to be having a support system. Men do tend to have weaker support systems than women, and that can result in diving into other relationships, bringing on more baggage, and just causing more pain in general. You gotta be there for your bros.
A man and a woman had a little baby.
Okay? That goes for everyone. The good news is that no matter what, it eventually gets better. All injuries eventually heal, and then they scar, assuming that you've survived them.
Do you guys remember that girl who was building a tunnel underneath her home, and then she ended up getting shut down because she didn't have any of the permits? Like, she was doing all of this by herself, but she got shut down because she got too big. She was posting all of it on TikTok, and so people found out, and they were like, you can't build a mine underneath your home. So they shut it down. Well, she showed back up on my For You page today. She's starting her castle now. So she was mining under her home to create a shelter, but then she was also using the rocks that she excavated out to build a castle. But she hadn't started that yet because she was focusing on the mine. Well, since she got like a cease and desist or whatever for the mine, now she's building her castle. And so in this video, she's like, well, time to start building. And she starts building it, and she realizes she doesn't have enough rock.
That's impossible, Rhonda.
Like she herself personally excavated. So she's on the way to pick her friend up from the airport, and as she's driving back, she drives by a construction site and just pulls up and is like, hey, can I have some of your rocks? And they're like, yeah, okay. So she loads all of those rocks into the back of her vehicle, and now she's building a castle. So yeah.
Instead of the cat lady, we got the castle lady, huh? Hey. Damn. Gangster.
There's a stick there.
Hey, that used to be me back in the day with that brink.
Number one, it's not what you think it is. It's not coming from other planets. The evidence doesn't suggest that.
Interdimensional.
Yes. And the reason is because time is parallel. It's not linear. Or it's not like we start here and go forward in time. Time is side by side, which means everything in the past and the future is existing in this moment, but within different frequencies. So a civilization that's at the end of their technological cycle could build a submarine that changes its voltage and materializes in that same location, just into our timeline.
What?
And then fucking, it's crazy.
Have you ever had any like glitches in the Matrix where like
yes,
time sped up for you, or like I've had that a couple times.
Weird things. So there's a consciousness aspect to this. Like you have to think of like consciousness is like, it's like the mind of God, you know. It's not a dude in a toga with a crown of thorns making Jupiter, you know. It's like everything you see is one band of frequencies. The highest frequency is light, unified mind. The lowest frequency would be blackness, absence of love, absence of whatever. And physical matter is somewhere right in the middle, right? So you have the ability to tune up higher or tune down lower, and behavior and all these things and time, and it all fucking comes together. Your brain is what's called a transducer. You're an antenna.
Interesting.
So in November of 1984, NASA took some of the most terrifying videos and photos of an untethered spacewalk that was conducted by two astronauts named Dale Gardner and Joseph Allen. Now, these untethered space flights mean that they were not connected or attached to the spacecraft that they were exiting, and they were free floating in space, traveling at 17,500 miles per hour over the surface of the planet. Now, they were doing this untethered spacewalk because there were two communication satellites that were launched that had rocket failures and were failing to find their correct orbits, and so they were trying to get over to them using these manned maneuvering units in order to make the corrections for these satellites. The space shuttle that they exited in order to do this mission was Space Shuttle Discovery, which had launched on November 8th of that year. Now, once the pilot David Walker and the commander Frederick Hawk piloted the Discovery within 35 feet of the satellites, Allen and Gardner exited the airlock and began their untethered spacewalk to recover the satellites. But seeing pictures like this is like crazy, because imagine if something goes wrong and you're just out there floating around in space. That's pretty terrifying.
Hell yeah. That's gotta be the worst. Like, would you rather be doing that or in the ocean at night? What a space, huh? Magical.
Do y'all see this and this happening simultaneously right now? What are the odds? So we'll come right back to the story of dimming out the sun in just a few weeks. It has really not been hot, but still fires all over the earth, all over the United States, one after another. They never seem to fail. Fair use for reporting. Look at this stuff. Every single time these fires just go out and they start destroying everything. I mean, can you even fathom what it's going to be like in the summer this year after it keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter? But wait a minute. Completely irrelevant and not related at all. They are going to be dimming the sun. It got the green light. Let me speak for all of us when I say, who the F came up with this decision?
Inbreeding!
Most surely not the people who live here on Earth. Even more so that in just a few weeks, they'll be going to allegedly dim out the sun. You know, we say the sun, but we'll say a sun. If you get that, you get it. And if you don't, then pay attention. The last completely irrelevant and unrelated thing I want to show you is this Simpsons episode.
I call this enemy the sun.
I mean, I had to add a pergola.
Man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
I want y'all to ask yourself a serious question. Who in their right mind could come up with such a plot?
I mean, just call it carport.
The
Rednecks do it
FDA
all the
just
time.
announcing that it is phasing out the use of artificial food dyes by the end of the year for big companies. Change is going to hit the big major food companies, including PepsiCo, General Mills, Kellogg's, and others. Among the products likely affected, foods such as those red flaming hot Cheetos, Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, and rainbow-colored Skittles. Last month, HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. told food executives that removing artificial dyes is an urgent priority of the Trump administration.
Remember they used to say that yellow number 5 made your pee-pee small?
What type of bullshit is this? The United States has officially banned all artificial dyes from food products effective immediately because these products are not healthy and they can be linked and cause stuff like cancer. So yes, a lot of your favorite snacks will be banned. I want y'all to take a good look at this list here. There won't be any M&Ms, any Reese's Pieces, strawberry Twizzlers, Skittles, I don't know what the fuck peeps are, jelly beans, drinks like Powerade, Crush Orange, and Sunny D Orange Strawberry that have dye in them, foods like pickles, some cherry pie filling, some barbecue sauce, and more importantly, the cereal. Oh my gosh, the Captain Crunch, Trix, Fruity Cheerios, Fruity Pebbles? And that's just the beginning, but whatever y'all do, please don't take Cinnamon Toast Crunch away from me. Please don't. And so we worried about banning candy, banning cereal, and banning drinks. But you ain't gonna lower the price of these damn eggs? A food item that actually matters. And that's not as important enough to attend to as some damn candy? Are you serious right now?
I've lost 180 pounds. Unfortunately, my neck does look like a vagina.
Hey, save the candy.
Go straight, let's make a line, please. Let's open up right now. Excuse me. Oh my gosh.
What's going on here? I got it. Let's go sell this bit.
There's been a discovery in South Africa that's blowing my mind. Probably the most impressive ruins on the planet that is a globe. You're probably like, those aren't that impressive. Give me a minute. They claim these are shelters and cattle pens, even though some of them are on top of mountains, and there's an estimated 10 million of them. You could loosely argue that until you realize that these things don't have doors. The gaps that you see here are modern people destroying the walls to get in to check them out. The walls really aren't that high, so you couldn't put a roof on top of them, and they're all connected by weird zigzag pathways. Michael Tellinger up here is the one that discovered a lot of these and popularized this, and what he's holding is a piece of one of these walls. Each piece is tuned and rings like a bell. The reason why rocks will ring is not even very well known in the scientific circles. Some rocks do, some don't. But all of these do. Egypt, for example. Some don't ring, some do. The ones that do were placed in very specific spots. Over in India, they used the rocks that did ring as pillars. You can actually play the pillars. They can even use different types of rock to do this. Obelisks ring like a bell.
That's so cool.
This one at Karnak is actually being studied. A paper is in peer review right now analyzing the acoustic properties of it, and it resonates at around 118 hertz. Back to South Africa, the most famous ruins are Adam's Calendar. It's like the Stonehenge of South Africa, except it's aligned to Orion like Giza, Teotihuacan, and Zion. Many of the circles are radially harmonic, just like cathedral rose windows. For some reason, these old builders put a high emphasis on stone and acoustics, which is something I've been researching for the last 6 years. And now I finally get to share everything I've been putting in these videos in one big old book. 250 pages. Most of it's over temples, temple tech, temple geometry, encoding, decoding, symbolism. All of it is in there. Book comes out in 2 days, but you can pre-order it for $20 right now. It says everything I've been working on. I cannot wait to show this to you. It is right there. I'll see you very soon.
Y'all, this is a creepy video coming out of New Orleans, Louisiana. This was captured by a woman and her girlfriends. They were just out enjoying the night, dancing, when a random man comes up to her and starts basically freaking on her. Didn't think anything of it until they saw his facial expressions, and it completely weirded them out. Tons of people are chiming in saying, you've met a New Orleans vampire or it's a demon. And honestly, looking at his facial expressions, truly terrifying. Take a look at this. Comment below and tell me what you think.
That's a Dahmer look. Damn.
You want to come to a club where people wee on each other?
No.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Oh shit, I forgot to freaking put the toilet seat down. Damn, did I text her back? Oh shit.
I mean, animal, I'll tell you if it's gay or not.
Giraffe.
Giraffe,
Just
bro?
dripping.
And here's the trick about being a giraffe. Giraffe, your head and eyes are so far from your wiener that if a guy blows you or whatever, you can pretend it's not a guy if you want. Right? Because you're so
You
far.
can't see.
Right,
Yeah.
you're so far removed from it. Like if I'm up here and somebody's just, you know, whistling on my root or whatever, I can pretend it's whoever.
You know how I know that you're gay?
But if I'm right here like a human, it's hard to be in denial.
Yeah, you can see Steve and Mark.
Right.
Yeah, in denial, all right. Come on, Theo.
This was just posted to United Airlines Instagram page, and no, it's not April 1st anymore. Now, you may immediately think Boeing 797 because a while back, fake renderings of that plane were posted all over social media, and they looked similar to this. But no, the caption says this is a design by Jet Zero, a company that's building a blended wing body aircraft that's roughly 45% more fuel efficient than current planes, and United has entered a purchase agreement for around 200 of them. I'll be first in line to buy a ticket.
Este tiene súper forma de nave espacial, ¿cierto? ¿Sí o no? A conciencia. Todos tienen como triangulitos, formas triangulares. Ay, Dios mío. Bueno, por lo menos desde este punto de vista. Sí. Reportando.
Now, hold on.
Right, no, okay, that makes sense. Come here. If I'm in my house and I see this, the first thing I'm doing is asking everybody in my family who opened the Chamber of Secrets and didn't say anything. Does that make sense? I feel like it's the same family member who keeps eating my snacks late at night to where I wake up and they're gone. Back it up. And the thing is, people are asking, oh, Jordan, what would you do if this happened? The first thing I'm going to do, besides looking for a new house, right, I'm going to make an hors d'oeuvre plate. I'm going to make an hors d'oeuvre plate. I'm going to get some balloons, maybe some sparkling cider to congratulate the basilisk that is downstairs on its new home, because as soon as I'm leaving, that snake owns the whole house. I don't know if this happened in Australia, but for some reason, I blame Australia for this.
We don't blame you. Don't worry.
Is the horse walking towards or away from you? Yes. You can trick your brain into seeing both. Right now it's walking towards me. Oh, now it's walking away from me. Oh my god, it's like that dress. And now it's walking towards me.
Yeah.
Now it's walking away from me.
Who painted this horse in Vanta black?
I don't know. How'd they do it? This comment literally is exactly... I was like, yes, you can. Wait, what? It's walking towards you, obviously, and then my brain did a wraparound.
Like, this one's easy. I can figure this one out.
I think I'll wait.
And by the way, this suddenly then makes sense of all the paradoxes of quantum theory, like the wave-particle duality. So, you know the double-slit experiment?
Yes.
Why would it be the case that only if you turn on a detector, meaning that there's a person observing the experiment,
Right.
even if you observation means checking the data that was recorded later,
Yes.
it's still observation.
Yes.
Why would it be the case that only when you turn on the detector or you make an observation do you get a particle with a distinct location, and before that it's a wave form, meaning it's a probability distribution of something that could be a particle.
Mm-hmm.
In computer science, they call that rendering optimization. It's used in video games all the time.
Yeah.
Things that aren't being looked at aren't rendered. It conserves processing power.
Right.
Yeah, but the dark matter around the galaxy is the one that we have physically observed through all these different observational mechanisms, telescopes, and so forth. It's a computational cloud. It's a computational cloud around the galaxy. And it's probably projecting what we see and experience. We're detecting the computational system when we detect dark matter, which nobody seems to know what the fuck it is.
Which you're saying is the same thing as data. The
Information.
stuff that we store, information
That's right.
that is stored on hard drives.
So yeah, this is in my book, Satanion. And the chapter is called Catastrophic Information because there's a physicist recently who's looked at all of this, and he conceptualizes this as an information catastrophe.
True story.
This underwater speaker is playing a song that's bringing coral reefs back to life. Can you guess what song it is? So basically, healthy coral reefs are full of sounds from all the wonderful marine life in them, and these sounds attract young fish and coral larvae. But when reefs are damaged, they go silent. So scientists worked out that if they played the sounds of healthy reefs near damaged ones, it actually tricked fish and coral larvae into returning to these areas, and it actually worked. In the Caribbean, they placed coral larvae on underwater speakers playing reef sounds and compared it to a control group nearby with no sound. They found that coral exposed to healthy reef sounds settled 70% more often, and in some spots up to 700% more. Coral reefs are among the most biodiverse habitats on the planet, but over the last 30 years, 25% of them have vanished and many more are in poor health. So simple solutions like this could help us initiate and accelerate reef recoveries. Tap like if you're a fan of this idea and follow for more solutions saving our ocean.
That's super cool. Like, how do you even think to try that out, though?
Our passenger planes are slower than they used to be. Our trains crawl compared to those in other parts of the world. Our cars do not fly. Advances have not stopped, but something has gone wrong. Stagnation was a choice. We have weighed down our builders and innovators. The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet, first hampering America's ability to become a net energy exporter and then making it harder and harder to build. We seem to have lost focus and vision, to have lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
I beg your pardon?
They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity.
Can't believe I had to say that out loud.
What just happened? Microsoft just created a new state of matter to power their quantum computer. We used to just have solid, liquid, gas, and technically plasma. Now we have topological. Here's why this is huge news. Microsoft's new quantum chip called Majorana 1 packs millions of qubits into a tiny chip instead of storing it into a massive machine. And the key is the chip's namesake particle, the Majorana, which is a bizarre particle that breaks a lot of the rules of physics. So it works like this. Basically, every particle has an opposite. It's antiparticle. For example, you have positrons and you also have electrons. However, a positron can never become an electron or vice versa. But the Majorana particle is its own antiparticle. It can be both at once, like a coin with two faces. Heads and tails, in other words, a 1 or a 0. Think of the Majorana particle like when you flip a coin into the air. At any given point, the coin could be heads, tails, or even both while it's in the air. The problem is, this behavior makes it nearly impossible to know the quantum state. So how do you measure something like that? Well, that's why Microsoft's Majorana 1 chip is so major. They found a way to engineer the topological state in such a way that they can observe and control the Majorana particles to measure what state they're in with extreme accuracy. To continue the coin analogy, it's like flipping 100 coins in the air and being able to view all the coins exactly when they all hit the ground. It took Microsoft 17 years to figure this out. Now they can measure these particles with incredible precision, detecting the difference between 1 billion and 1 billion and 1 electrons. This kind of quantum computer could solve complex problems instantly, like developing breakthrough medicines and vaccines with no trial and error. If you like science worth sharing, then give us a follow everywhere at TL Science.
She's nice.
That's pretty wild. That's a breakthrough.
Well, now I'm recording like right to TikTok because like shit is getting real now. So we're off north of our property a little bit, and we were looking for places that naturally hold water, and we found this like little pond that's like north of an arroyo, and this thing is filled with kids' backpacks.
Like filled with backpacks.
And there's like a mound here, and
there's like a bunch of signs
there's more
of
backpacks.
Like wildlife activity.
Like if you dig down,
It's like
there's backpacks. There's little kids' backpacks here.
Don't be too loud, sister. Please.
Like, there are kids' fucking backpacks here. I'm armed. But we found a place out in the middle of the desert north of our property that, has bones and boots and
all sorts of shit.
Kids' backpacks. Yeah. This is getting really, really weird. You smell that?
What?
Something smells like sweet.
No.
Like it smells like laundry detergent. Do you smell that? And there's like...
Well, you know it smells like sweet like that out in places like out here.
Good exhaust.
So we just hit a point where we found like our 5th backpack or bag after finding that boot, and yeah, we're done. We're gonna head back to the property. Gonna have to contact somebody about this because one of our neighbors was really, really interested when we found bones on our property, and that guy's been really, really against us having social media. So I think it's... Sorry, we're kind of in shock.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to figure this out, but we just found a bunch of backpacks and like personal belongings.
Follow me for your dose of nightmare fuel.
This might be the last generation to ever experience school the way you remember it, because countries around the world are now experiencing the biggest shift in education in 100 years. China just announced that starting in September, AI education will be mandatory for students as young as 6 years old. And this isn't just a coding class. It is a national strategy to prepare students for a future dominated by AI. Meanwhile, in the United States, you have the Secretary of Education saying this.
I heard that there is a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching, every year starting, that far down in the grades. Okay, let's see A1 and how And how can that be helpful?
Now, to be fair to the US, AI in classrooms is even happening in the US as well. Several states have recently passed bills mandating AI in course curriculums. South Korea will become the first nation in the world to introduce AI textbooks nationwide. These digital books will collect real-time data on students' performances, giving them continuous feedback as they learn. They can also adapt the pace and difficulty of the material to each student's personal needs. And for teachers, they get sent all of this data, allowing them to see each student's performance like never before. Over in the UK, a recent survey showed that 60% of teachers already use AI for things like marking work. And then over in Canada, another survey showed that over 80% of students are claiming AI-produced content as their own original work. So we really got AI-generated schoolwork then being marked by more AI. And similar things with AI are happening in classrooms in parts of Europe, India, Africa, and the Middle East. But is this a problem? Well, on the one hand, you have critics who worry that kids are no longer learning or retaining knowledge, while supporters say AI isn't going away. And if we don't teach kids how to use it now, we risk leaving an entire generation unprepared for a world they're inheriting. It's kind of like when our teachers told us we needed to memorize our times tables because we wouldn't always have a calculator in our pocket. Yeah. So the question is this the big change that the education system has been needing for decades? Or is it just the beginning of something we'll regret?
It's interesting. I mean, kids are more advanced nowadays, though.
Only some people will understand this.
So listen. Go.
I guess there's two ways you could understand that.
It's a Jim Bobworth. It's like everybody in power wants to redo what God did. So now they're saying that the UK approves experiments to dim the sun. What the fuck? My question to you, what is the sun doing that's so wrong? You get vitamins, nutrient, powers from the sun. Who is the sun hurting here?
Outside bad. The sun's scary. He's not my friend. He wants to hurt me. Safer.
Okay, so how do they plan on dimming the sun? As a matter of fact, why did they come up with this idea to dim the sun? Before we answer that, y'all have money to pay scientists to find the best way to dim the sun, but y'all don't have money for nothing else? All right, back to business. So they'll be injecting reflective particles like sulfur dioxide and aerosol, and they're releasing this into the atmosphere. And they're also spraying seawater to brighten the clouds. That's called marine cloud brightening. Then they're deploying reflective materials over ice and land surfaces. And they're doing all of this to stop the sun from shining. And this is in the name of global warming. Mind you, in the UK, they have an average of 30 to 60 days where the sun is fully shining. And this is yearly. So you're telling me that the sun is bothering you that much? I keep telling y'all better stop playing with God. Pay attention.
I have a challenge for you. Do not let anything negative come out of your mouth about yourself or other people or anything for that matter for a week. And just watch how everything changes.
Oh my Lanta, you are my woman.
Try it out.
Okay, if you're at all like mentally unstable or fragile, don't watch this one. So I've made a lot of videos about organoid intelligence in the past. That's where you take human brain cells and grow them in a petri dish and then use a computer to train them just like AI. They're actually more powerful than AI in that they learn quicker and are more energy efficient, but there are huge ethical concerns with them because they have similar brain activity to a premature baby. And there's a lot of people out there that object to these because there's a decent amount of evidence that they're conscious, just like a person. I recently posted a company called Final Spark, and they actually have something called Neural Platform where you can rent out essentially server space on these organoid brains, so you can pay for them to do things for you. This is a live stream of the organoid brain computers that you can rent out, but there's something way more concerning on their website, and that's this simulation which the brains are fed sensory data from, so that they can feel everything the butterfly feels and control it to like fly around. The reason why that's terrifying is there's a good chance the brains, if they are conscious, just believe they are that butterfly. Because when they're not in use by someone purchasing their computational power, they just fly around and exist in that simulation. And you probably already see where I'm going with this, but if this is possible, you could make a pretty good case that we are just organoid brains somewhere, and this is a simulation that we're in. And maybe like when you daydream or just fall asleep, that's someone using your consciousness to do something else. I don't know, but crazy to think about. Crazy times.
It brings up great questions.
Did we shift timelines? Because what is that? Apparently that's a dolphin called a northern right whale dolphin, and we've been documenting them since the 1700s. There's no dorsal fin. Kind of looks like a mole or a slug. A bunch of flying slugs. They kind of look like orcas, which I'm obsessed with, so why have I never heard of this? Apparently they have a rough patch on top of their head that acts like a fingerprint, too. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Did NASA's James Webb Telescope discover that our universe might exist inside of a black hole? Like, kinda, but emphasis on the might. JWST took images of deep space, so these are all galaxies and they're extremely far away and extremely old, forming in the early universe. Well, researchers at Kansas State University started categorizing how those galaxies were spinning, and they found something startling. They found that 2/3 of these galaxies were spinning in a clockwise rotation and only 1/3 were spinning counterclockwise. That's weird. You would think it would be a pretty even 50-50 split if the conditions were like normal. So the fact that they're not indicates that maybe the conditions weren't normal. There are a bunch of possibilities. One of those possibilities is that the early universe itself was spinning, and so the galaxies just started spinning the same way. One of the ways that could happen is if our universe formed inside of a black hole, which is terrifying to think about because that might mean that we would be inside an even larger universe. This would mean that we would have to rethink a lot of what we thought we knew about the universe, but it is not the only option. This study only looked at 263 galaxies out of billions, so these numbers, they could change. And the researchers think that the rotation of our galaxy might play a role because the Milky Way is in the more rare group of galaxies that's rotating counterclockwise. Researchers say that they expect light coming from galaxies that are rotating opposite of Earth's rotation to be brighter, so maybe we just have an easier time seeing galaxies that are rotating clockwise. Either way, this is a really cool observation that I think a lot more people are going to be looking at in the future, and hopefully we can get some answers. Because right now, the answer is, we don't know.
That's trippy.
Beautiful waterfall, but I mean, folks, come on. And if you needed any more proof of why Crocs people are the worst people on Earth, I mean, how many of those do you think are Crocs? All Crocs people are bad. I have no evidence for this besides this specific situation, but...
He's gonna be a funny old man.
Can I get that 11-piece nugget?
How many nuggets?
11.
What?
I'm sorry, how many nuggets?
The 11-piece.
11?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
Have you ever heard of the Council of 300? Council of 300 is basically what we would call the Illuminati, and it connects directly to the cult of the Black Cube. So it was originally written by Dr. John Coleman in a book called Conspirators Hierarchy, The Story of the Committee of 300. He claims that there's a shadow elite ruling the world behind the scenes, but there's multiple names for them. So it's the Council of 300, also the Hidden Hand, or the Olympians.
Interesting.
300 top-tier individuals that would be royalty, banking, dynasties, and corporate heads, including the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Windsors, and high-level Vatican officials. This is why people are like, well, this isn't real because there's no record of it. Of course there's no record of it. The ultimate goal of the Committee of 300 is the creation of the one world government.
Yeah.
One thing this Dr. John Coleman writes about is that the Council of 300, they use this thing called the
Hegelian dyad.
Yeah, often reinterpreted as the problem reaction solution mechanism. So it's a mechanism used by the elites. So it's a 3-step process. 1, problem, a manufactured crisis, terrorist attack, pandemic, economic collapse. 2, reaction, the public's emotional response. So the public's like, you got to do something to save us. And then 3 is solution. So the elite's pre-planned solution that wouldn't have been accepted otherwise. An example, surveillance laws, war, lockdowns.
These are moon landing photos you've probably never seen before. We have to start with a montage of astronauts falling on the moon. The spacesuits are very heavy, the lunar gravity's different, and they're doing weird work. I know you've seen this boot print on the moon, but have you seen this photo of Buzz Aldrin making it? I love this photo because you can see the boot covers that they wore over their astronaut suit. Here's an astronaut in the spacecraft after completing a spacewalk on the moon. He took off the spacesuit, which was covered in dust, and he got covered in dust. You can see his emotions after walking on the moon. I love this photo. And here are the spacesuits in the corner. The Apollo 11 crew had to stay in an airstream in quarantine for 3 weeks because they didn't know if they had some moon disease. This is the Apollo 14 lunar lander, and the astronauts took a rover. Here are the tracks, and then they took this image from far away. I feel like we don't realize how hilly and diverse the lunar surface is. And here are the astronauts training on Earth to use the lunar rovers. These are the Apollo 12 astronauts loaded up and ready for launch. It looks incredibly claustrophobic. Astronaut Charlie Duke left his family's portrait on the moon. It is still there. And here's a photo of the Apollo 11 crew capsule after re-entering Earth's atmosphere and splashing down in the ocean.
That's wow. And then we got stuff like this going on.
Are you filming?
He got stuck.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Named his Cybertruck Aquaman.
Oh wow, he's getting
Wait,
out.
what?
That's very impressive. I'm sorry, but that's super impressive.
He lost his Cybertruck.
What is wrong with this guy? Somebody grab a cord and pull him before he gets all the way down there.
Hey, we're not getting too close, are we?
Wow, look, he got it. Keep going this way. Why are you going that way? Oh God, this is super.
What is happening?
My anxiety level right now is.
And what is this idiot doing?
No way.
That is super impressive.
No, that's amazing. Wow.
All right, so we're getting closer and closer to living in a Blade Runner universe because China apparently just approved companies for licensing to operate flying taxis. So some regulators in China recently granted commercial flying taxi industry licensing so they can operate autonomous passenger drones. The two companies that are on the NASDAQ listed Ehang Holdings and Hefei Hay Airlines, and they obtained air operator certificates from the Civil Aviation Administration of China, which is also known as CAC. They received the certificates on Saturday of this past week, according to state-run news. And what this means is that both companies are cleared to use unmanned aerial vehicles to offer commercial passenger services, including urban sightseeing tours. The air operator certificate was the final thing that they needed to overcome in order to start actually taking passengers up into the air, because they already had the certificates in order to start production and also, I guess, an airworthiness certificate that said that they're good to fly. Apparently, Beijing's been allowing people to really start investing into what they're referring to as a low altitude economy, which is essentially an economy that involves technologies that range from delivery drones to blimps and flying cars. Apparently, the leaders in China are pretty much on board with this thing as well. Now, apparently, there's a research group called Hurun that took data from the Civil Aviation Administration of China in order to try to figure out what the low altitude economy is predicted to be worth eventually. And they're saying that by this year, 2025, that the low altitude economy is predicted to be worth $207 billion, and that they think that by 2035, it's going to be worth $3.4 billion. So almost double. Now, if there's companies in China that are doing this, I can guarantee you that there are probably companies here in America that are probably trying to do the same exact thing. I just think it's going to be wild to see how they kind of prevent mid-air collisions and stuff when there's tons of drones flying around all over the place, delivering stuff, dropping food off, delivering people, providing emergency medical services, like landing and like medically evacuating people. Like, there's so many possibilities with this, but I just don't know how the Federal Aviation Administration would deal with it over here. I mean, I don't know how they're going to deal with it over there either, but either way, this is going to get real crazy, but it is exciting times that we're living in. That being said, this could still become some very dystopian stuff real quick if it's not done correctly.
We need some safeguards quick.
Breaking news for the Oscars, they now have to watch the movies before voting.
Wait,
what y'all watching, hoes? Were you not doing that? They were all just guessing without watching the movies, which would explain a lot. Or they just watching one and going, oh yeah, I like that one. You know what? Go that one. That one's good. That's like having a child. Stick with me, I'm going somewhere. It's like having a kid instantly deciding they're your favorite. A tattoo saying, oh, little Johnny's my favorite kid. You have a second child who you like more and you've already got the tattoo. You can't change your vote now. What I'm saying is you have all your kids before you decide which one you love the most. Watch all the films, then take your pick. I just want to know what happened to make them finally enforce this, which, by the way, again, is a thing that should have been enforced from the start, but, you know, hey-ho, presto, we carry on. There is someone at Oscars HQ who just pulled movies out of a hat, surely, because La La Land should have won.
Wow. That's scary. That's,
Let me see your phone! What are you
I didn't want you to see that I was cheating.
Dude, what is hail? It's basically, it's like Italian snow or whatever. I mean, that shit just f***s you up. It's like Memphis snow. It's like, what are we... It's definitely... I gotta look that up. What is hail? Because sometimes it's like you're relaxing, it's raining, and then the rain's like, oh yeah, guess what, motherfucker? And it just fucking shows up. And it just starts like pinging off your car, bouncing off your wife's shoulders and shit. It's bouncing off your stepson or whatever, and it makes you care about him. Hail is just, yeah, we gotta look into that and see what they're doing. They're probably charging us for it. You know, we're probably getting charged for that.
oh, shit.
How much eye do we need? Like, I don't see more when I open mine.
Thank you for saying that out loud.
I just
People
thought
think
that.
I see things.
Yeah, what do you see?
Through Letterboxd.
Like, do you see?
Like, I'm a Criterion Collection movie guy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
No.
We are IMAX and you're...
I'm trying to...
Yeah,
like,
you're not IMAX, dude. You're not IMAX. Dude, you don't see IMAX.
That's good. How much?
That's so funny.
Man of the year, nah, man of the century. When it come to fear, I don't think there's any left of me. Shorty said she loyal, I say, yeah, well, you better be. Gotta match my bag, and you gotta match my energy. Show love to my family if you get a chance to meet them. Immigrants had a dream just to get a taste of freedom. Promise me you gon' ride to the promised land. Time of our life, the world's in the palm of your hands. I figure it out along the way. Yeah, sing it. I figure it out along the way. Alright, it happened in a dream, but I'ma make it real. Watch, diamond clover blazing next to Rich and Mill. Watch, there's some things I gotta cop before I get killed by cops. There's some cakes I wish I bought. I fucking hate bots. Make love, make mistakes, make a difference. Don't make yourself the victim. I know you're hit, but listen, angels came early. I just had to thug it out. I love my angels, but I hate how we can't hug it out. Figure it out along the way. Let's get it, yeah. Don't be too much.
Just stop telling us like that, huh? Well, hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another Bryce's Right. I hope y'all all have a great freaking week, great rest of your week, what's left of it. Hey, hopefully y'all all have a great freaking weekend. But y'all know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss out on any future content, and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let us know what's up. Other than that, we will see y'all next time. All right, y'all. Peace.
You picked it up in clear daylight and you scratched it.
I don't give a Just shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. Roll credits.